Hello, everyone, and thank you so much for watching again. Welcome to Angie's Talk Show. This is Angie Ostojic, and we want to thank you for being here tonight. I'm super excited because I have these two beautiful ladies who's going to join me and give you such amazing opportunity to learn from them and everything that they know. So thank you guys so much. Again, I want to thank you all our viewers. I want to thank you guys so much for always being with us and supporting our show. So, first off, I cannot thank you enough for all the things that you've been doing and for all over the world who are tuning in all the time in our show. So, thank you so very much. So, without further ado, we are going to meet our wonderful ladies who are going to help us out tonight. So, thank you, Beverly, and thank you, Michelle, for being on the show with me tonight. And I'm super excited because there are so many different things that you guys can learn from them both. So before we're gonna go further, I really want you to please share this show. And also, you can go to YouTube. It's been aired in YouTube and it's also aired in our social media. So, good evening, everyone, in wherever part of the world you are in. So, welcome. Before we begin, I would love you very much to meet our wonderful ladies. But I want to tell you a little bit on why we're doing what we do. So, the reason why we're doing this is because I am very fascinated to look and see what's a lot of people who are thriving to succeed in life, but unfortunately, sometimes we're lost. Unfortunately, we don't know what we are doing. Unfortunately, we thought that we are just alone. You're not alone. We are in this together to whatever it is that we are going through. Right now, we need to reach out to each other and help each other up. So it's very important that we know that there are a lot of people out there that are struggling like you, but at the same time thriving and really doing really well in their businesses. So examples of all the special guests that we are bringing every single day or every single Saturday at 8 p.m. Mountain Time, we are bringing each and every one of all these people who have their own businesses. They have struggles. I'm not telling you that they don't. They have struggles. At the same time, they're going to teach us on how to cope with anything that we're going through right now. And it's very important to learn from them because these are ordinary entrepreneurs doing extraordinary job in coping with and thriving to be successful in their businesses, in life, and in their families. So it's very important for you guys to be watching because it's really nice to hear something new and also maybe some other skills that you can learn, some tools or some ideas that you can use in order to cope with whatever struggles you're going through right now. So thank you so much again for watching. And here we go. We are going to introduce you Michelle Lucena Abisamis. Tell us a
Hello.
little bit about yourself, Michelle. And thank
Thank
you
you
so
so
much for
much,
being here.
Miss Angie. First off, I want to thank you for this opportunity to be able to talk to you guys to the to this live show, talk show with Angie. So it's a great opportunity for me. And thank you for that. So yeah, a little bit about myself. Well, I came to Canada in 2009 through the temporary worker program. And so it was, it wasn't an easy journey for me in the beginning, but and I didn't have what do you call this, I did not have the plan to actually stay here in Canada. But because I met a lot of very good people, Canada has been a wonderful home for me since then. So that's when my husband and I started talking about actually settling here and getting the kids over. So my first job was I worked at a very well established family restaurant. And then after that, moved to Edmonton when my husband was about to come here so that we could bring the children over. And from then on, I fell in love with the food and beverage industry. So I stayed for a few more years
And from then
until
on,
at one point,
I fell in
what is
love
it
with.
I'm gonna do with like with with all of the opportunities here in Canada. And it all started when we became first time home buyers ourselves, and we went through the process. We loved the experience, and I think that made me think about it, like something that I could pursue as a career. So I started working with a builder, because I wanted to learn how, like, all of these new homes being built. I wanted to learn what business processes are involved. I wanted to learn how I can help more, how I can educate people and how I can help them go through the same experience that I had. And then I've decided to get my license. That way I could help more people. So now I am a licensed real estate professional.
Wow, that is such a journey for you. Amazing, amazing. So, how long you've been here then? 2009.
2009, so this is my 12th year. So I think I came here in
Wow.
February, and that was, I think, the year when it was snowing all month here in Canada. So it was a different experience for me. So coming from the tropics and then moving to winter wonderland, as they call it.
Oh my gosh. Well, you know what? Hey, look at it right now. Like you are doing everything that you can and having that freedom, so called freedom that they
Yeah.
say. So it's wonderful. It's wonderful. And I'm so happy for you.
Thank
Congratulations on
you.
that success of yours. And
Thank you.
amazing. Before we're going to go ahead and ask you more of these questions that I have ready, I'm super excited to know more about these things. I want to say hello to Michelle Villanueva. Thank you so much, Michelle, for watching. Thank you. Um, Another thing that I might be wondering of asking Michelle is I know and I noticed that you also been involved in so many different organizations,
Yes.
Michelle. Yeah, tell me more about those organizations that you're involved, and why do you get involved in those organizations? Because especially when you're an immigrant and very new in Canada, I do believe you started early in joining
Mhm.
those organizations.
Yeah. So back then, when I was, like being schooled at a Catholic school, I think it was one of the values that, like we were thought of when we were young, and even at home, is to always be giving. Because like at some point in time, like you'll be in a different situation, and you'll be someone that could need some help as well. So it's all, and whenever we have any blessings, um, we always want to be able to share. And
Mm-hmm.
it's just a wonderful feeling, and it's something that we grew up with. So even at home, like with my parents, with our relatives, at school. So that's, like that's how we were growing up.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
back then we were actually exposed to all of these kind of community work. So even during my grade school, I'd be volunteering for the school. We'll do fundraising for the school. We go on theater tours, or like we go workshops, drama workshops. We'll be performing just to raise funds. So it was a life that I actually grew up with, and I think
Mm-hmm.
it's my go-to as well whenever I feel so. Sometimes when you're so stressed and everything, I think whenever I feel that, that's when I start looking at other people. Hey, maybe I could do something to make them happy or make them smile, and that makes me happy. And that's why I'm involved with all of these organizations. I started off with, when I was younger, like Interact Club. And then when I came to Canada, I joined the Rotary Club. but then I took
Mhm.
a leave. So at Rotary, that's where I learned a lot of things, and I met a lot of very good people. And then I think that is one of the things that helped me overcome a lot of what do you call this? A lot of challenges being
Mhm.
new to Canada. So that's
Mhm.
one of the things. And then now I am currently involved with the University of the Philippines Alumni Association of Edmonton. I'm
Mhm.
currently the vice president of the organization, and we've been doing a lot of projects here and there. We've partnered with the Philippine Consulate General um, Philippine Consulate General in Calgary. We're doing a book project, and this is actually to document migration stories of our fellow Filipinos. So whether they've been here for 40 years or for 40 hours, so it meant a lot for us to know like all of these things that people are experiencing. For in a way, the long term goal is to be able to help address like what are these struggles and how can we best help the community better.
Mhm. Yeah.
And then
That's
yeah.
very, very important, especially for all the immigrants who are coming in. It doesn't matter where you guys are coming from, for all our viewers who are watching us today. It doesn't matter where you're coming from. But the most important thing that I got from what Michelle is saying is it's really very, like, it's very, very important for us to be connecting with people in order for us to adapt with the things that is going on around the world and around like our environment, because that's the best thing that we can really not only to fit in, but the communication to understand on what's in our surroundings, and that will be easier for us, maybe either to maybe find a job, either like what is the best thing that I can do, how can I communicate with the people around me, because even though you have your fellow Filipinos, we are all different in some ways. So maybe the culture is something that when we were back in the Philippines, maybe the culture was different from there. And when they come in here in Canada, they adopted a different culture. And so that's why it's so hard to connect. So sometimes we find hard to connect with other Filipinos or other African Americans or other Mexicans or whatever it is. But each and every one of us, that's why I'm so grateful, because we are also all different. Well, it's nice that we're all different, or else we're gonna be so boring. This world will be so boring if we're all the same. But the thing is, it's the best way to adapt in order for us to know what's going on around us. And that's where, in that way also, maybe they can help us find a job if you don't have a job, or maybe they can show us some other skills or share some ideas wherein they can help you move and be elevated in the next level that you want to get into. So those are really great tips in there, that when you are brand new in Canada, or you're old, you've been here long enough, it's always nice to connect with these people. So, well, thank you so much, Michelle, for sharing that. That is very fascinating, and the journey of being an immigrant and adapting in the culture of the country that we're in. And my goodness, there's no place than being here in Canada. The freedom that we have and the privilege, the opportunity that's given to us, we just need to make a choice on what to do with that freedom that is given to us. So it's very important for us to recognize it and at the same time use it in a perfect manner. So that's awesome. Well, thank you so much, Michelle. Let's go ahead and know a little bit about Beverly Mendoza, and hopefully can give us some a little bit nuggets and whatever it is that she learned from being here in Canada. So let's take a look. How long you been in Canada, Beverly?
Hi, Angie. Good evening to
Hello.
your viewers and at least listeners. It's my pleasure to be invited, and I'm very grateful for the opportunity. Yes. So to answer your question, my family has been here for what since 2012. So we migrated in the summer of 2012. I and my husband and my two boys. So prior to migration, I wasn't really aware. I was naive, actually, honestly, on how it will be on how to migrate. And you read from books, you try to plan out, but honestly, it was something that you look forward to, but at the same time you're scared as well. So let me just give you an idea on how it was for me, and just give you one anecdote that happened actually. And I always share this in all the talks and all the presentations that I make, especially for immigrants like me and like us. So before I we actually left, when you need to actually attend a seminar thing, in preparation for migration. And so there's this one Canadian actually from Robertson College, I think, and she actually spoke with me and my husband, asking us, okay, what our plans are. And I'm like, okay, so what job will you? She was asking me what job I should be planning to have, and I'm like, I don't know. I was actually a lawyer back in the Philippines, probably practicing for almost 6 years when we actually had the opportunity to migrate. And uh, lo and behold, I answered, I don't know. I was like, maybe I'll be grateful to have a McDonald's job. And I sort of saw her frustration on her face when I said that, because she was like super disappointed with what I said. And I'm like, how come? And she's like, what a disgrace that I'm leaving the Philippines as a lawyer to be working in McDonald's. Please don't get me wrong, but a job in McDonald's is good. A job is a job, right? But she was like displeased with my answer, because she's like, what a disgrace for you to leave the Philippines and then and be working in McDonald's. You're leaving your lawyer life, and then yeah, and then what a disgrace for Canada to be accepting you and just be working in McDonald's, when actually they got you for your skills. So I'm like, I was flabbergasted with what she said, but you know what, it made sense. And when I moved here, lucky enough, in my first month, I was hired as a legal assistant, a paralegal in a downtown firm in Calgary. And I was really fortunate.
Mm.
Yeah. So, and
Mhm.
yeah, and many people were surprised as well, which was really just a blessing. I know. I was lucky when my husband got here. He got a job on his first month as an assistant manager in a hotel. He was a manager back
Mhm.
home, and so yeah, so we knew that our careers will have to step down, but not that much though. We stepped
Mhm.
down only by one level, and
Mhm.
we are so fortunate. But when you have dreams and when you have plans and you plan for it, I
Mhm.
think there's nowhere to go but go and achieve it. I've
Mhm.
been reading a lot of quotes about achieving your dreams, but always dreams will remain a dream if you don't go for it, right? If you don't make the first step. So that's what I did. um, there was a point in time when I was a paralegal, when I saw the lawyers who I was working for enjoying their lives. And like, that was me before. And that was
Mhm.
me actually able to leave the office early and play golf, or or
Mhm.
or able to answer a phone call and provide them legal advice. As a paralegal, I can't do that. Felt restrained. And
Mhm.
there was a point in time where I felt like um, I needed a reason to stay in Canada. I wasn't happy. My kids are here, they're thriving, but where am I? I couldn't find myself, my identity.
Mhm.
So that
Mhm.
was my main reason to go back to
Mhm.
studying. So, in order for me to become a lawyer here, I needed to actually write 8 exams. And I wrote those exams while working full time with my 2 kids growing up, being
Mhm.
a wife, and yeah, commuting and everything else. So it was hard. When I took the bar back in the Philippines, I told myself, Lord, please make me pass the bar on my first take, because I would never do this again. But apparently in Canada, I wrote 8 exams again, right? So what an irony. So yes, and I wrote those 9 exams. I was fortunate to have moved to a firm that hired me as an articling student, and they gave me the opportunity to be a lawyer in their wills and estate department. They gave me the opportunity to actually be more than just a lawyer, be a trust and estate practitioner, which means I can service even trust planning. And service the high wealth group. And so yeah, it all uh, everything was like, it wasn't given, it was, we I really worked hard.
Mhm.
I never, during those times that I was studying for the exams, I never had my Saturdays. I would go to the library, open the library, and close the library at the same time. So the only Saturdays I had was when I finished all those exams. So there were really a lot of struggles, and um, but just take the first step.
Mhm.
Just do that. Just move. Just do something, because the opportunity is there. That is the main reason why we moved here. We want our kids to have the
Mhm.
opportunity to make the most of their lives, and
Mhm.
it starts with you as a parent. I
Mhm.
think the opportunity is there. If you don't grab it, it will it's your fault, right? If you
Mhm.
But I don't, like, I've met a lot of people who were like professionals back in the Philippines, and they didn't want to study anymore, and
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
respect that. um,
Mhm.
but always remember, the opportunity is there. Everything is given to you here. You can afford anything. You can, if you just work hard, um, you can do that, right? So I think, yeah, you mentioned that, Angie. Being here is a blessing. It's really a blessing. um, and with all the things that has been happening since last year, many people losing jobs, many people cutting hours, many people having pay cuts, but who are we to actually complain?
Mhm.
We are very, very fortunate to be in this country. And aside from that, we have so many blessings. We just need to count them. Small ones,
Mhm.
big ones, it
Mhm.
doesn't matter. Just let's just count our blessings.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Well, it is really fun. It is really great that you mentioned that, because, as I have said earlier, Beverly, it's a choice. We are given all this opportunity. We're given all these privileges that we have to take. Either to take it, as you have said, there's a lot more people out there who are well educated back home, like you as a lawyer, but when they come here, as you have said, they don't want to take any more of those exams or anything
Yeah.
like that. I know there's so many professionals, so many professional immigrants who come here, but the only thing that they say, they are here for the kids. But I salute you. I really,
Thank
really
you.
salute you, and I admire you for your persistency and your and you thrive to really get what you want, and that's exactly what these kids will see, is like when we really aspire to be better. And at the same time, it's so true, people settle. You'll say, it's okay, I'm good in a
Yeah.
McDonald's. Sometimes we are all have that minded and that thinking, but until one person can really believe in us and really push us, because they do believe we can do better, and that will really ignite that heart and be an inspiration. And now with that, you'll become an inspiration for other
But thank
people.
you.
You see, that is amazing, because you did, like, imagine that you open a library and close a library. Who will like put up with like 9 exams? So wow.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? I guess you're still young, and congratulations. I
Thank
really,
you.
really admire you for what you have done. And so now, how long are you been a lawyer now here in Canada?
So yeah, so when I started my articling in 2016, and
Mm-hmm.
for here in, it used to be the rule that our articling should be 1 year, but I did apply for abridgment because I was a lawyer back in the Philippines. So
Mm-hmm.
they allowed me to actually get called to the bar in like
Nice.
9 months, I think. So yeah, and then in 2017, I was called to the bar. I
Mm-hmm.
worked at the Wilson Estate Department of McLeod Law.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, and I, yeah, so I was doing purely Wilson Estate. So but So when I got here in Canada in 2012, the first my first employer was Hendricks Law. So Hendricks Law is a law firm in
Oh my gosh.
downtown. It
Yes.
specializes in foreclosures and real estate and a few commercial ones. So they hired me instantly, and I was really grateful. It's just that I
Mm.
needed to leave that firm because it was in downtown and I wanted to have time to study. But maybe it's what's fate that I
Yeah.
met up with
Mm-hmm.
my boss last year. And yeah, and we
Mm.
always had a great relationship. And
Mm-hmm.
she invited me to come over to her firm again. And
Mm-hmm.
now, not just a paralegal, but as a lawyer. So I'm very grateful. So
Wow.
now I'm back with Hendricks Law, and I'm doing, aside from Wilson Estate, I'm also doing real estate as well.
Beautiful. Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah. Thank
Congratulations.
you.
Okay, I'm always, this is what I am going to ask you, because now that I'm with you. But first off, I don't want to miss all our viewers in here. Very, very happy. We're super glad that you guys are here. Mar Melendres Portia, thank you for watching. Rosabel Paulino Ramos Carino, thank you so much for watching. And we have some viewers way back in the Philippines, Michael Parangal, and also Zining, I cannot pronounce that, but and Michael said that this is a very interesting show. Thank you, Michael. We have Gina FCC Rosa. Thank you so much for watching. June Baltz, Carlin Lister, and of course, Jose Abezanes and Juvie Olorte. Thank you guys so much for watching and welcome. We're so glad you are here. So, there's a question, a following question, a follow up question for Beverly. Beverly, first of all, I know that you've been a lawyer back home, but what make you pursue being a lawyer here? Why do you want to become a lawyer here in Canada as well?
I think, being a lawyer is in my genes. So my dad was a lawyer, and my brother now is a lawyer. Actually, I was a
Hmm.
frustrated accountant because my family is also a family of accountants. So, but I think I started with saying that because I just felt I missed something when I was a paralegal. Lawyering is a noble profession. It's something I feel very special doing lawyering because I'm able to help people. People know the law, guide them as to where they stand and where they should go in life. I mean,
Mhm.
I have had friends who are asking me, my take this, my specialty, or I specialize only in wills and real estate, but people asking me about family, or people asking me about criminal. Most Filipinos, I'm sorry to say, are asking me about family law matters, and yeah, and DUI matters or something like that. Fine, I am not able to help them because Canada, the code here in the legal code here in Canada strictly discourages us to actually give advice on something that we don't have knowledge on or have
Mhm.
minimal knowledge on, but
Mhm.
I can safely guide them where to go. Like, okay, if you want a PBLA or you need a Filipino lawyer who actually specializes in family, I have friends here in Canada who are
Mhm.
Filipino lawyers as well, who
Mhm.
specializes in what? Real estate or family or those matters. So I just, when people come to me lost, that's where I feel like I have an obligation to help.
Mhm.
And regardless who they are, well, where they come from, that is something that's their right to know. They should know. And if they have any question, if I can answer it, I will definitely offer whatever I can.
Mhm.
um I might they might not get the answer from me, they might get it from someone else, but if I can lead them to that someone,
Mhm.
then I will be happy to do that. So I think lawyering fulfills my, I guess, my purpose in life, That's how
Mm-hmm.
I'll put it. I
Mm-hmm.
feel happy doing it. It's a noble. It should be a noble profession.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and yeah, it's basically helping people.
Mm-hmm. And you know what? It's so nice that you mentioned that, because if it's really in your genes, if you're that's your passion to be helping people in that way,
Yes.
um, in a legal side, my gosh, there are a lot of people nowadays who. First off, lost a lot of money, and like, their credits are affected, like their marriages are affected, everything, because they don't know the law. And if you can definitely help them and direct them, as you have said, to who they can go to, I guess they will be in a better position.
Situation.
And
Mm-hmm.
I cannot believe in how many people lost a lot of like properties by not just being aware of what's the law. And sometimes, especially us, I love our people, but unfortunately, we have very close family ties, like friendship and stuff, and they don't know we're gonna get into those things and we're gonna get in trouble. And those are something that they need to know. They need to know the legalities of things, which is very important, because sometimes your hard and earned investment, hard earned savings, and all that stuff will all go away without knowing the right thing. And regret is always at the end, as we say. So you always need to be aware. And having those ideas and having Beverly to be in your side, and knowing what's the right thing to do, I do believe it's gonna save you a lot of pain at the end. So you need to seek for advice if there's something that is kind of, I don't know if this is the right thing. If those doubts, especially if it's a little bit more severe and you cannot address it, it will be nice to seek for legal help. So yeah, it's very important. So anyways, that's awesome, awesome, awesome. So again, Beverly is doing some real estate, being a lawyer in estate, and also will
Wills.
in what
Estate.
else?
Wills
Yeah,
and estate. Yep.
Wells and estate. And so maybe a little bit later, following after we you go back to Michelle, because you wait until Beverly will give you some things, some nuggets, what to prepare, get ready, and why is it important to do all those legalities, and why it is something that you need to prioritize if you didn't do it already. So Beverly will come back and tell you more about that. But beforehand, I want to go back to Michelle. So Michelle, now you are a real estate professional now. So congratulations, and I'm so happy for you for doing that. So Michelle, there's always something that I'm always kind of I they always say like location, location, location. I don't know exactly what they mean. What do they mean by that? And you're muted, by the way.
Oops, sorry
Yeah,
about that.
no worries.
Yeah, so location, when they say location, this is people who are trying to think about where they would basically buy a property. However, there are other factors involved in buying or purchasing a property, and it's not just location. Location would be good, like if you're considering a place where work is closer, so that way you save on gas, and the time of travel, of course. Um, if location is close to where the kids' school are, so that is all saves you time as well, preparing the kids to go to school in the morning. There is also, you think about location when you're trying to see where everything is in terms of, hey, where will I pick my groceries, or where which is there a dental office nearby, because you want to be in a place where everything is very close, very proximate,
Mm-hmm.
because
Mm-hmm.
time is essential for everybody. So you want to
Mm.
make sure that you are able to make use of that time.
Mhm.
And but however, as I said, location is not just the factor for your home purchase. There is also what we call timing. Like, is it the right
Mhm.
time for you? Do you have
Mm.
are you fine? It's not just about the market. It's not just about, is it a good time to buy now? The most important thing is, am I ready to be a homeowner?
Mm.
There are factors. Being a homeowner also, you enjoy that freedom of being able to do whatever you want in the home, for you to be able to see the things, or the features that you like to have in your home, so that you can live comfortably in it. And at the same time, too, are you ready to take on the responsibility of being a homeowner? Because, like, if you are a homeowner, you also have to make sure that you take care of your home. All of the maintenance schedules, all of those things that you have to take care of, like every year. And there are costs also involved in
Mhm.
taking care of your home. So
Mhm.
that's another thing. Um, and again, we consider, like, how is the market doing as well. Like, is people are people are talking about, this is a buyer's market, so then
Mhm.
like, we have that opportunity to be able to get homes, like, at a price that is, like, better for us as buyers. Or
Mhm.
this is a seller's market, and now, we have, we can dictate the prices of our homes, because there's not a lot of inventory, and there are a lot of people looking for houses. So, and it's sometimes it could be different in each locality, so because there's
Mhm.
differences in demographics, that is another
Mhm.
consideration. So, like, in which community were you looking to be in with? Are you, you do you want to be in a more, in a younger community, where there will be a lot of interactions with the kids, or something like that? Or
Mhm.
there'll be opportunities for you to meet, like, people of your age, something like that. So there's a lot of factors, not
Mhm.
just location.
Yeah, well, thank you so much for touching on that one, because that's going to be my next question. There's a lot of people who say, "Oh, it's buyer's market or seller's market." Like, it's very good that you touch on that one. But before we're gonna go further, Michelle, I know that you were not a real estate back home. I know you
Mhm.
studied. What was your job back home? Because I know you are also from UP. I know that you have studied a good university back home too as well. Can you tell a little bit about that?
Yeah, I actually hold a degree in political science,
Mm.
from the University of the Philippines. Because just like Beverly, initially my dream was to be a lawyer, but she pursued her dream. I didn't, because I started working for a senator, back then. So that was my first job. I worked for a very, very good senator back home. So
Mm-hmm.
I got involved into, like, doing, more legislative matters. So we were crafting bills. We were doing all of these things, and in my mind, that is my way of, helping, like, our countrymen.
Mm-hmm.
um, and then, so, you know uh, the lawyer dream, took a back
Different.
seat, for a bit, and I was like, you know what, maybe I'll do it in 5 years, so so I was
Mm.
that was the plan, that was the goal, and then the kids
Mm.
came. And then, like, I enjoyed being a mom, and then I enjoyed the
Mm.
work that I had. So after my stint in the Senate, I've done, consulting work. I work with the Department of Trade and Industry, which was one of the best, jobs that I ever had, because I work with the
Mhm.
International Trade Group. I was part of the team that, I crafted the medium term development plan. When we were doing
Wow.
it, we were just, it's just a report. But when we
Mhm.
actually had it finalized, and the executive branch, like the office of the president, actually recognized the work that we did, only
Mhm.
then, there were only three of us when we did the entire report. Only
Mhm.
then did we realize that we were doing something good for the country, because it was going to be the basis of a 6-year plan to steer the economy, like, back back into track again, because we had, you know, we had a lot of setbacks, from like our trades, investments, foreign investments back then. So when we did that, we created like job generation targets, and we involve all of our major export sectors. And that's when, you know, something that stirred activity in in
Mm-hmm.
in the Philippine economy. And that's also when we recognize IT services. So that's when the call center industry, and the
Mm.
business process outsourcing industry companies came to the Philippines and did all of those investments, which in turn generated jobs for our no, our countrymen, our fellow Filipinos back home, and
Mhm.
also created that the positive outcome in the economy, because now people have, you know, have jobs now. They have um, you know, they have income to be able to, you know, contribute back to the economy.
Mhm.
That's
Wow.
was
Mhm.
one of the things. So that's why I said I like being in the back seat as well. Not like so much into like being in front of the camera. So
I know.
how
I
life.
know.
And then prior to coming to Canada, I've been involved in a lot of international cooperation projects with World Bank, the Asian Development Bank, and we did. I trained project managers in construction companies to do
Mhm.
risk management. So that was a turning point in my life. I really love like that job when you're actually trying to educate people how they'll manage risk companies. And it started after the collapse in 2008, the recession that happened in 2008. But then something
Mhm.
happened in the family. That's what uh, a change in circumstances had me coming to Canada. I
Mm.
didn't want to be here uh, at first.
Well, are you glad you're here now?
But I said in the
So
beginning,
thankful.
yeah, in the beginning, it was scary because I didn't know anybody. I only knew my
Mhm.
coworkers and you know,
Mhm.
the person that got me over here. But
Mhm.
um, I met a lot of people, Canadians,
Mhm.
Filipinos, Indians,
Mhm.
people, Vietnamese. I've got Vietnamese friends, people
Mhm.
from Poland, like everybody who's been
Mhm.
very helpful. And again,
Mhm.
when we talked about it in the beginning, when we talked about connecting to people, I think that
Mhm.
that connection has also made me realize I
Help,
can do
yes.
other things
Mhm.
as
Yeah,
well,
no
and that
kidding. Yeah.
motivated me. So if
Yeah.
I can do these things, I can help, you know, I can teach other people to be, you know, to think the
Exactly.
same, and you
Mhm.
know, like to be able to improve themselves,
Mhm.
and you know, be successful. Maybe
That's right.
it's in them. It's always in us. It's just as you
Mhm.
said, there has to be that something that's
Mhm.
spark or something that will help ignite or whatever, like
Mhm.
open that up
Yeah.
in us and be for
That's
us to
right.
realize. So
So that's a hint, you guys. Hint is like, if you really want to become who you want to become and whatever you're passionate, go for it. Like for Michelle, she waited. Here's Beverly become a lawyer. She didn't wait. She go for it. So, but again, guys, there are so many different circumstances because
Yeah.
I personally believe that God has planned for us. We
Yes.
make all these plans for ourselves, but sometimes God have a different plan for each and every one of us. And it is not an accident for us to be where we're at right now. The only thing that we can do is recognize it. How can we better ourselves and move forward? If you're not happy, you're feeling like having those doubts and you're not happy doing what you do, maybe there is something that you are missing, and if that, you take the action action and move toward what you really want to do, because life is too short to
Mhm.
really waste your time and your energy and all those emotions to hold you back from really accomplishing what you want in life. So it's very, very important. Number one is to recognize what you want in life and move forward. Go and chase your dreams with the opportunity and privilege that is given to you. So those are the two. Like, I am so happy and super thrilled that these two ladies have different ways of approaching life and their career itself. So that's something that we can learn from them. And it's very nice that, sometimes it's, as I said, sometimes we don't know, like, we don't want to be where we're at, but we need to stay anyways and give it our best because we don't want to regret it at the end. So thank you so much. I know, Michelle, you're very shy, but look at you, like, you're really going, girl, you're rocking it. So I'm really happy that you are really doing so well. So again, I want to say hello to MJ Garcia. MJ is a mortgage broker from BMO, and also MJ Alvarez. So congratulations and thank you so much for watching. And also Rosabel Paulino, thank you so much. We have Nining Alvarez, thank you for watching, and Lisa Bernardino. You guys are really, really great supporters for being here. So I hope you guys are learning a lot from all our special guests. So let's go ahead and go back to Beverly, because I'm really interested in knowing why Beverly. I don't want to die, so I don't want to make my wills estate. Like, why is it important to have those ready? Tell me a little bit about it.
Angie, we're always hear that it's especially with our culture. It's a taboo to talk about inheritance and to talk about death. But rather than me giving you the reasons why don't
Mm-hmm.
I just do a different strategy now or a different take on this? Maybe I should just share with you the four misconceptions on estates. Because
Let's do it.
yeah, with wills, you will find out why you need a will from just discussing about the misconceptions. So first, uh, having a will is for the rich. We always
Mm-hmm.
hear that. If I don't have properties, I only have. Yes, but you'll have someone in your life, and what will happen to you? What will happen to your body when you pass away? Who will take care of
Mm-hmm.
your body? What will happen to your kids if you have kids? Even though you're renting, you don't own a property or whatever. What will happen? There are many things that you put in a will that can dictate your body, yourself, your whatever you leave behind in a will. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's basically something to direct your loved ones um, after your death.
Mm-hmm.
So it's I'm always happy to like meet with a person who is actually doing their first will, because I feel like it's my advocacy to actually share. There is a
Mm-hmm.
will packet with the registry. You can buy that for 150. Have something, have a document. You don't necessarily need to go to a lawyer, but it's best to go to a lawyer if you have properties, because so that a lawyer can explain to you how you can manage your properties well.
Mm-hmm.
But one big thing, let's just say you want, who will take care of your children? Okay, fine, your husband will be there. What if you and your husband get into an accident and you both die together and you don't have a will?
Mm-hmm.
Who will take care of them? You can actually put in your will who will be the guardians of your kids,
Mm-hmm.
right? You can well, the guardianship is always, the court always has a say with guardianship, but at least the court knows who you would want to take care of your kids, right? And the court will
Mm-hmm.
give great weight on that. um Second misconception, I do not need a will as my spouse will get all my assets when I die. Okay, fine. Maybe, yes, maybe in some ways. But if you don't have a will, yeah, the intestacy provisions of the Wills and Succession Act will actually govern. And mind you, if you have your second wife and your have children with your first wife, then your second wife will not get everything according to the
Mm,
intestacy provision. So
mhm,
there are differences. It's just so hard to explain that intestacy provisions because back in the Philippines, we're so used to not having a will. Why?
mm, mm,
Because the law in the Philippines is civil code. We base it on civil code. Inheritance is based on civil code, and the civil code provides. Sorry, I'm going to get technical, but just for this is my opportunity to actually educate our viewers and
mhm,
listeners. Um, in the Philippines, there's what we call legitim. So a legitim is some sort of dictation as to how much and who will get your estate, even if you don't have a will. It's almost the same as that of principle with that of Quebec, because Quebec is also civil law. There are here in in Alberta, we do have the intestacy provisions, and legitim is not the one that we follow because we're common law legitim. So because we don't know, the law does not dictate how much or who will get the funds strictly,
mhm,
then it's almost a free for all. So you might not know your because you didn't marry your second wife, and how long have you been living together, a common law partnership, how much share will your old wife and your new partner will get. So you're probably not aware that your old wife might have some stake in your estate. You don't know that. So that
mm,
is why you need to go and get your will. Um,
hmm,
More importantly, I think if you have kids, nobody, I mean, most people don't know this. If you have kids and you and your husband, you're driving and you get into an accident and you die together and your kids get to get to inherit your estate, if they are minors, they will not get the funds, nor their guardians will get the funds. It is the office of the public trustee who will take care of their funds until they reach the age of 18. Would
hmm,
you want that? Would you want the office of the public trustee to
mm,
actually give allowance to your kids? Whereas if they have their aunt there or their grandparents to take
mhm,
care of them, you don't
hmm,
want that. So I can give you an example in one of my cases where I'd say this is a Filipino client. Her son, who's below 30 years old, died, leaving a son. So his her grandson. And wow, the money is now being taken care of by the office of the public trustee
hmm,
because her son didn't have a will. So those things, we don't think of those things, and we
hmm,
sort of have the notion back home that oh, it will just play off by itself, whatever, or I don't care. They will whoever is there will get whatever, right?
mm,
That is something that we should look into because, mind you, it's so hard when one passes away and there's no one else to actually manage the
mhm,
estate, and not only minimizes in terms of the value of the estate because it's more expensive to manage an estate that is really uh, not properly arranged or planned out.
mhm,
um but yeah, those are supposedly for your children, right? You want your children to inherit some certain amount of funds, and then yeah,
mhm,
they can't because you're paying off lawyers, you're paying off all those advisors, etc. Whereas if you have a goodwill right from the onset, then you just appoint your sister or your mother to actually take care of those issues, right? Third
mm,
misconception: if I die without a will, the government will take my property. So I don't know where this come from, but I always hear this from older people, and yeah, and unfortunately, our kababayans.
mm,
That is not true. So if you die, the government will not get your property. The government will look for a next of kin. So they will always try their best. I have had another case where it was the third uh, third cousin or far off cousin, but the government still found that third cousin to apply for a grant of administration. The government will try its best to actually look for that someone to inherit the estate. But if there's no one else, then yes, the government will take it only if you don't have an next of kin. And
Mm.
lastly, fourth misconception: a will is only for the old and not for the young. As I mentioned a while ago, a client classic that's always my example. A client's son actually got into an accident, died, leaving a son, the grandson, and unfortunately, the office of the public trustee actually is taking care of the funds. And for them to actually get hold of the funds, they need to apply with the court, and an application for that probably costs like $5,000. Whereas creating a will probably is the most expensive one is what, 1,500 for a will, and the average on the 500, 600 for a will. So yeah, sometimes we're thinking of like, "Oh, we don't have money for that, we're saving." Just have something, because it's in the end, it'll be more beneficial for your family, and you don't want to rush things like going to court and applying for this because you don't have a will. So going, like, for example, if you don't have a will, and your husband, and you have a separate account from your husband, your husband won't be able to get your funds immediately. Whereas, if
Mm.
because no one has been appointed as a personal representative of your estate, whereas if you left a will, that personal representative can at least talk to the bank and say, "I have an original will here. Could you at least provide for the funeral expenses for my spouse?" Right? So
Mm.
those are small things that we don't actually think about, but there is really value on getting your wills done. And sorry, Angie, I'll just insert this: the modern personal planning does not only include the will. So nowadays, more importantly now during COVID time, we should also have an enduring power of attorney and a personal directive. What are those two? Those are what we call incapacity documents. If you suddenly get hit by a car and you become what, unable to actually have the mental capacity to make decisions, you were there, you had COVID and you're struggling, and for some reason there's this disease that they can't find, and you've been in the hospital for 3 months already, and your wife doesn't have the documents. It would be so hard for your loved ones to actually get hold of your funds, manage your financials, and manage your health, because they don't have the documents. They're not allowed under the law to actually manage your affairs because they don't have the documents to do that. So what will happen is they will run again to court, and running to court always is an expense that is really far off, and which we can actually plan for, by having those two documents. So an enduring power of attorney is a document that actually provides, appoint an attorney for you who will make the financial decision when you get incapacitated. And a personal directive is appointing an agent for you, for that agent to decide on your health and medical decisions when you get incapacitated. So yeah,
Mhm.
I just wanted to share those. Those are important things. And mind you, an older people who suddenly has been diagnosed with what, dementia or whatever, that needs to be in an assisted living, without an enduring power of attorney, the senior home or the assisted living facility will actually ask for that, and without an enduring power of attorney, they will ask you to run to court to get an order for trusteeship. And again, as I mentioned, going to court is a big expense. So
Wow.
instead of you getting an enduring power of attorney or a personal directive for like $350 to $500, you now end up going to court, spending 5,000 to get that order that will be released in what, 10 months. So yeah, so those are the small things that I would like to share, and I would hope many people would think about that. So having their
Mhm.
documents prepared are really will help you and your family and your loved ones.
Mm-hmm. So it
Yeah.
will save you a lot of grief at the end. You always need to be very like prepared. Like it's, oh my gosh, it's unprecedented time. Like there's
Yep.
just so many different things that can lead us to there. And it's so true. You might be thinking that you don't have that money now. How much more when something can happen? How
Yes.
where will the money come from? So to save you
Exactly.
the grief, like do it now. And you mentioned that there's also a paper like $150 that they can
Yeah.
buy, and they can always, like, they can go ahead and do that on their own. And it's very important that they need to do that. So again, guys, I, I I cannot say it any better, but like it will make me think to go back to all those wills that we have done with our lawyer and say, okay, this power of attorney, if I cannot talk and my husband like do these things. So I thank you, Beverly.
You're
Just give
welcome.
me the hint of
Yep.
like really going through it. So that's amazing. That's amazing. Well, I really appreciate that. It's very valuable information that we need to know. And it's very important, guys, that with all the things that we are doing, all the investment, all whatever it is, we are now in Canada. We're not in the Philippines. They cannot just throw us out there when something happened. No, 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 no. You have some integrity, and you have some family, and you don't want to leave your family. This is what I say to a lot of people. I don't want my family to be crying just because I left them with grief. I want them to be crying because they're gonna miss me so much. It's not like just because they're gonna cry because I left them with grief. I can't take that. So I guess this is the best thing, guys, that you do. Thank you, Beverly. That's such
You're
an
welcome.
amazing information that we really need to know. So think, you guys. I mean, it will save you a lot of money down the road. Imagine that going
Exactly.
to court $5,000. How much more than later if you don't have it now? So, really, truly consider that. So that's good. Well, thank you so much. Um, Again, now we're coming to the hour, but I really want to. I really want you both to leave some message. Being a realtor, what are the things that people need to be considering? Uh, uh, um, Michelle, I know that like people, there's so many different kind of immigrants that are here right now when they're considering buying a home. What is the a great message that you can leave to them, especially when it comes to considering all these preparation and stuff like that? What will be a message to every single one that you can tell on how to really make a good decision when it comes to owning their dream house?
Okay. So first off, this is a takeoff of the discussion with attorney Beverly earlier, that when like you try to plan for something and be proactive about it. And in any real estate transaction, whether you're buying or you're selling, you'd be involved in a very intricate process that also involves a lot of specialists. So you have your mortgage broker, you have your real estate professional, you will have your home inspector, you will have your real estate lawyer, all involved in the real estate transaction process. And this is me not to sound biased because I'm a realtor, but honestly, it's our responsibility as specialists, as licensed professionals, to look after your well-being, especially in the sales process, because it can be overwhelming. So um, your your licensed professionals will have the knowledge, will have access to resources to help you make a more informed decision. I had a client earlier who was telling me, you know what, Michelle, maybe we don't need the realtor because we can always negotiate with, an owner to owner basis. Well, that's fine. However, like in preparing your will, we cannot predict what can happen after the transaction. So if you don't know what are the things that you need to look after or to look at when you're making those when you're into those agreements. So it is very important that you involve your licensed professionals. That way, if there are potential issues along the way, you can be alerted, and it would save you grief. Save you from grief. It will save you money.
Yes.
It will save you a lot of money, because what if something happens and it's everything is on title, and every, the agreement is already there, you've signed up, and something was wrong and you discover that after the fact. Now potentially you probably will have to uh, shoulder all or be responsible for any expense after. So it
Mhm.
is something that your real estate professional will be able to guide you. So whether
Mhm.
you're buying a home or you're selling, sometimes, because like say for example you are a seller, you know how much exactly you want for your home.
Mhm.
This is, Michelle, this is what I want. You talk to your realtor or your real estate professional. Michelle, this is what I want to for people to buy my home at, like the price. This is the price that I want. I think this is reasonable. Is it really reasonable? Is it comparable to, the other properties that are around? So the other party will also do their due diligence. What if they say no, your property is not reasonable, it's not priced right? So now you lose that chance of being able to sell your property at a comparable
Mhm.
price, and that's a headache for a lot of sellers when they do it on their own. So it's a very intricate process, and that's why we are here. That's why your licensed professionals are here, your mortgage specialist, your real estate lawyer, your realtor, because they went through a process of studying for you, and they have access to all of these resources as well to be able to help you make that informed decision. And I remember I just read this earlier today. There was a quote that Henry Ford said. It's like you look smarter, or you be smarter, because if you hire someone who's smarter than you. So
Mm.
it's it
That's
just
true.
says that someone who will be able to provide you that knowledge, and help
Mhm.
you and guide you to be able to make that informed decision. So like in the
Mhm.
end, it's always looking after what's best for you, because that's what we are licensed for, and we have rules, very strict rules and regulations, and a code of ethics governing, not just real estate professionals, but mortgage brokers, anyone involved in the real estate transaction.
Mhm.
And if we do anything like that deviate from all of these rules and regulations, then that is a penalty that we have to pay for too, because this is something that we signed up for, because in
Yes.
the end
Yeah.
it's your best interest. So like
Mhm.
uh touch base, connect with a real estate professional, to be able to uh find out what's best for you and what's best for
Mhm.
your situation.
Yeah. Mhm. And if they want to reach out to you, Michelle, what will be the best way to reach you out? To reach you.
I'm I'm on social media as well. I have my Facebook page. You can look me up, Michelle Lucena Abisami's Century 21 All Stars Realty. Um, uh, you can also check on my website, www.michellesellshomes.ca. You can reach me. My phone number, it's all over my page and my website. It's 780-242-9888, and it's free to consult. So it's complimentary, like to be able to guide you on your next steps in buying or selling a home.
Wow, beautiful, beautiful. So yeah, there you go, guys. They have a license for a reason, and a lot of people said we learn from our experience.
Experience.
Okay, but how about if we're gonna save you that grief and learn from the experience of other people who've been through there, and so that it won't give you grief. So now there you go, you got it, guys. So thank you, Michelle. That's
Thank
wonderful.
you.
Really appreciate all those nuggets. And let's go back to Beverly. Beverly, if they want to contact you, what will they do to? How will they contact you? And what's your message to all our viewers, especially those people who are looking for some help in those legalities of things that you do?
Yeah. So I yes, I do wills and estate as well as real estate. So I actually act for buyers, purchasers, or sellers as well. I also do private lending. I assist clients who make who lends money, and we also do refinancing. My specialty is Wilson Estate. I'm a certified TEP, meaning a trust and estate practitioner. I do work and provide services at Hendricks Law. It's a downtown firm. I would prefer that you email me because I'm really quite busy during the day with all the closings as well as signings and meetings online. Oh, sorry, I haven't talked about that, but yes, you can do your signings for real estate as well as Wilson Estate via Zoom. That's a whole different ballgame, but probably a different show again to talk about. But yes, you may email me at B Mendoza. It's B as in Beverly Mendoza, Mendoza at hendrickslaw.ca. I have a LinkedIn as well, and my phone number is 403-269-9400. So yes, Beverly Mendoza, yeah, from Hendricks Law. Oh,
Beautiful. Well, thank you so very much. Those are such wonderful nuggets. I hope you guys have learned so much from all these two beautiful ladies that have given you freely what they know about their profession. And again, you always need to seek something in your comfort, but at the same time, you need to know on what you're getting in so that it won't be hard to be getting out. It's gonna be harder to get out if you're so indeed into it. So thank you
Expensive
again,
too.
Miss. Yes. Thank you again, Michelle Villanueva,
Thank you.
Rosabel Paulino, also to Engelborg from Philippines, also to Alvian from Japan, Rosabel Paulino. Thanks, very informative. Thank you. Christine Sherman, thank you so much. And also Anna DJ is watching, and Angie Soriano. Thank you guys so much. If you learned something from this show, please, please, please comment or feel free to share it to people that you know, into the groups that really need to know more about these things. Don't you worry, guys. I'll be bringing them back, or maybe Beverly and I will also be doing what we called a program wherein you can come and have some questions or anything like that. Also for Michelle, maybe that's something, my next project. Oh my gosh. I don't know. So
Next project. Yes.
next project. Oh my gosh. Um, I just started, ladies. I cannot believe I'm going to tell you this. I just started making some rosary cars, like car rosaries, because I'm so fascinated
Wow.
on how many people right now that just get in and out, so stressed in the car and driving and all the stuff. And for me, getting into my car rosary will always remind me to calm down, have faith, and hope for the best, and just be centered. And it always remind me to pray for safety, not only for
yes.
myself but for the people around me. And I am driving, and I said, why will I not do this? Why will I not make some car rosaries or maybe some rosary bracelets? But I said, this is my problem, my dilemma, Michelle and Beverly. My dilemma is I never did anything that involves my hands. Always my mouth. I can talk, I can do all the trainings, but I never did anything that involves my hand. So that's my dilemma. So now I can relate to you, Beverly, when you say that if you really are passionate and
Yeah.
you want to do it,
Yep.
oh my gosh, like it's a night and day. And I wake up in the morning and said, I need to learn more. I need to, like, I clip my fingers. It hurts in the it hurts in the morning. And said, but I'm so persistent and I'm so determined that I can make it. I want to make it. And I decided and choose to make it work. And so relating to your both of your stories, we are all into this with a plan. We're all into this with some mission. We're all into this for a reason. So we just need to find it, recognize it, and move forward. So, guys, this is such a wonderful evening, and it is not like an ordinary talk show because we had learned a lot. And we
I
salute you
had a
both,
great
Michelle
time.
and Beverly.
I had a
Thank
Thank
you.
you
great
very
time.
much.
Yeah,
Thank you.
no,
Have a
thank
good
you.
night. Yeah.
And to all our viewers, thank you so much for being here with us. We are so glad that you're here. Till next time, again, God bless you. We love you. And thank you. You have a
Bye.
blessed evening together.
God
Good
bless
night.
everyone.
God bless. Thank
Thank
you.
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 Have a good